Oh, hey. Didn't see you there. I was focusing on the Super Bowl the LA Rams are playing in. What's going on, NFC West fans? Thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. I am Sheriff Joe Baggs, and our Los Angeles Rams are in the friggin' Super Bowl, and it's some pretty amazing stuff. So let me go ahead and bring the rest of the crew in. First, we'll go with CG. How you doing, man?
Doing good, man. Was good. Congratulations.
Thank you, man. Appreciate that. And next up, we got Mike the AZ sports fan. What up, man?
What's up, dude? Awesome intro. Awesome.
And Steezy Smith representing those Seattle Seahawks. You see the helmet over his right shoulder there. How you doing, man?
Man, I'm feeling great. How you guys doing?
Doing amazing, bro. Amazing.
Some of us better than others, you know.
I bet.
I like that. I for everybody watching, nobody else had any idea I was about to dress like this, by the way.
Not at all.
I almost did the shoulder pads, but I didn't have enough time. I only have a 30-second countdown, so it's good stuff. First, guys, before we go ahead and start about this, we kind of understand what happened in this game. It's now been a little over a week. We didn't do the roundtable last week, so we are back now. We will, of course, talk about it because there are definitely some bones that will be picked between me and CG, so we will discuss that here for sure. First and foremost, guys, I wanted to go into this, though, because I have been keeping track of our picks all postseason as well. So last week, guys, I picked the Rams, Steezy picked the Rams, and CG and AZ picked the San Francisco 49ers. That does give us a three-way tie for first place as far as postseason picks go. And this is just NFC West teams. We didn't pick outside of that. So a three-way tie for first place with myself, Steezy, and CG with 4-1 records. Mike, do you happen to know what your record was for these picks?
I don't, but I do know that I'm the bad luck, so I'm coming for you, Joe. Coming for you.
Yeah, I'll put it this way. I really want you to pick the Bengals. You were 0-5 as far as NFC West playoff prediction games.
So
you picked the Cowboys and Cardinals in the wild card round, the Packers and the Bucks in the divisional round, and you picked the Niners in the NFC Championship game. So, wow. Hey, man, Bengals, all right? Can you do that for me?
We'll see.
Can I get that at least?
We'll see.
All right. So, all right, NFC Championship game, it happened. It was awesome. It was a great game. Actually, the last 6 football games have been incredible football games. In the divisional round, we had 4 games. All 4 games ended in a walk-off, which is unbelievable, absolutely insane football. And then in the championship games, each conference championship game saw a comeback. We saw the Cincinnati Bengals fall down to the Kansas City Chiefs, and then the LA Rams fell down by 10 against the San Francisco 49ers. So, CG, what I went ahead and did for this one, I had the clips ready. Okay, I'll tell you that much. I had the clips ready. I went back. I watched the episode before the NFC Championship game. I picked out different clips. I have them saved. But what I wanted to do, I didn't even upload them here because I just wanted to have this conversation with you just in person. And we know what you said. You said curb stomp a bunch. You said a bunch of stuff about them running it down our throats, all that stuff. I had stats to back up all your comments. Like you said, like, we're going to run it down their throats, 50 rushing yards. Like stuff like that I had just laid out for you. But I want to hear from your perspective, what happened here? What went wrong for the 49ers in this game?
Came in the second half, the way the offense was playing, man, it just seemed like the team was shutting off, and the defense wasn't playing at their best. I can't make no excuses about it. The fact that we didn't even go after covering Kupp, man, that was our biggest mistake right there. The fact that you guys were able to run the ball very effectively was kind of like the way to wear our defense. And then the fact that our offense was slowed down. You guys were mostly stacking the box, stopping this running game, and forced Jimmy to throw. And at some point, this is the key to the game to the Rams to beat us, was to force Jimmy to throw. And congratulations, you guys made Jimmy throw and cost a costly game. It is what it is, but I'm going to give credit where it's due for the Rams. You guys were able to capitalize. We choke away a 10-point lead, and I know it's kind of like something to get over the hump, but here's where it went down. The fact that we were being too cute and too conservative, we didn't even stick with the formula at the second half, and it's ridiculous. Even at the time when we had that Kittle touchdown, it seemed like this game could have been out of reach, but nope, the Rams came back, and this game was pretty much a disaster. The fact that our safety couldn't even get an interception, it was in your hands. What was that? And then the fact that the Rams were able to capitalize. Despite Stafford getting hit constantly, he's proven the doubters wrong time and time again this year. So I got to say, the MVP of this playoff game is Matthew Stafford, and prove me wrong otherwise. I think this team is built to win the Super Bowl. Don't hate on me for this. I'm speaking truth and nothing but the truth out here.
I do respect it. I also hate it because of how cocky you were last week, but I accept it. I accept your change of heart here in this game. Yeah, Josh is referring to what I said near the end of that show, and I, like I said, I rewatched it again, and I brought it up. I said, if the Rams win, can I get your chain, CG? You blew that off pretty hard and pretty fast. I was trying to find something to offer you. I asked you what you wanted, and we never got that answer. So you know what? As funny as it is, to potentially get this chain in the mail, which I think I deserve, I will accept that I will be painless, and no one's getting to leave over here. Although, I don't know, I was checking the tape, man, and it kind of felt like it should have been mine. So that's what Josh is referring to over here. Corey, man, thank you so much for hanging out with us and being here. He says, congratulations to the Rams going to the Super Bowl, but I hope the Bengals beat the Rams. My only comment to that one, and this is something that I've said every single year, is if the Rams lose in the playoffs, I kind of just hope that team wins it all. Because, and I know it's like division rivals like that, but I don't want to lose to a loser because that means you're a double loser. And you know what I mean? Like, that's just bad. They're like, it's like Packers right now. They lost to a loser. You know what I mean? And that's like, Packers fans sitting here like, dang, we lost to somebody who just lost again, like the following week. Like, what are we doing, you know? So I think it's a little tough. I respect the standpoint there, but I personally just disagree with that. Am I alone on this one?
Hey, but to make it fair, like, yeah, this is where I was saying that we didn't even come to the terms of the bet. Like, it was like the talk here, and I'm like, dude, what do you have for collateral? And I guess we could have. I didn't even know, bro. So it's definitely not even a discussion. Maybe next time. Maybe I'll take your hat.
Ooh, that'd be a good one.
Dude, I would have offered it up, man. I straight up would have.
But we didn't come up with it. That's the problem. I was like saying we had to come up with collateral first. Next time, maybe. I don't know. We'll see.
Edwin says the LA Rams are winning the Super Bowl. I sure friggin' hope so. I wanted to ask Steezy, all right, because, I mean, obviously, I'm not trying to take shots here or anything like that, but the Seahawks didn't make the playoffs, and then the Arizona Cardinals got booted out round one. So I do want to make sure that you guys are included, okay? I'm not trying to be a jerk here. You guys are on the bottom row, but, you know, that wasn't totally okay. It was on purpose, but either way. Steezy, what do you feel about my losing to a loser standpoint? Do you agree with me or not?
No, bro, I think you're totally on the money. You know, obviously, like if I'm the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, for example, a lot of people feel that, the Rams, you know, they're the last team to beat Tom Brady on his way out. Well, if you guys end up winning the Super Bowl, then it's just like, we lost, and I'm referring to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, we lost to the eventual Super Bowl champion. Then that loss doesn't sting nearly as much. And so I'm totally with you. It's not going to hurt nearly as bad. I mean, if I'm the Packers right now, if I'm a Packer fan, I wouldn't know how to feel. I mean, especially with all this drama and speculation revolving around Aaron Rodgers and his future, and there's so many things going on there. I'm with you. I think the logic is very sound. All
right, different question for you, Mike. This is kind of an interesting one because, and we'll get into this game preview. I promise, guys. But Joe's on a roll. All right, we're feeling good, man. We're feeling amazing tonight. All right,
you should. I mean, you should. All the crap you was good. So.
We're feeling good. But this is kind of a different question for you, and this one's kind of one out of left field a little bit maybe for you. So the AFC is pretty loaded up. We got a lot of really good teams in the AFC. The Bengals now kind of emerging as one of those teams potentially. This is, in fairness, like their standalone one strong season so far. So we'll see how it continues into the future. But I mean, they won 4 games last year, you know. So let's ease up on like this is a dynasty because we said that about a lot of teams. So there's also the Tennessee Titans, who are a very strong team. I believe they just extended Vrabel today. You got the Kansas City Chiefs, obviously a very powerful team. You have the Chargers, who have a very strong roster, but for some reason just crumble all the time. I don't know. But there's a lot of really good AFC teams. In the NFC, though, the other teams outside of the Los Angeles Rams and San Francisco 49ers, because the 49ers I think are extremely strong teams still. We got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who just lost their quarterback, the Green Bay Packers, who might be losing their quarterback, and others. The Seattle Seahawks, who I still kind of put there because of Russell Wilson. Like, it's hard to say that they're not going to be relevant as long as Russ exists. So I wanted to ask you, though, is are the Rams really the team in the NFC moving forward into the next few years here?
Yeah. Well, I don't want to answer this question, but I mean, the way that they're playing this year, it obviously seems like, everything that they've done for that they've gotten so much crap about, giving away their first round picks. It seems like it's actually working around. And I remember making a stream for the Matthew Stafford and, telling my Arizona Cardinal fans, hey, we should be worried about this. Matthew Stafford is coming over. And they're like, oh, no, he sucks at the Lions, blah, 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 blah. And now look what's going on. He just needed to get a capable head coach or a really good head coach and a good roster behind him. And look what exactly happened here. Now, that usually doesn't happen at all, but so kudos. I think you guys have a really good roster. I'm not sure what's going to happen with OBJ if you do re-sign him, but you got Robert Woods still. So, and Cooper Kupp is playing out of his mind, and I don't see him not do the same thing next year, or maybe not as high production, but even if he's a mirror image of what he did this year, it's crazy to see what kind of numbers he was putting up in this year. So, I mean, I guess to say yes without trying to say yes, yeah, I mean, it sucks. I mean, obviously, we're kind of going through our own woes right now in the Cardinal universe, and we'll get into that a little later on, but I hate to say it. And it's not just because it's the Rams, it's because it's LA, man. I freaking hate it. If you guys were in St. Louis, I wouldn't hate you guys as much. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. You're cool, Joe. The Rams, I can't do it. I can't do it.
I respect that answer. It's just kind of interesting to me, considering like everybody, when the Rams started just like blowing off first round picks, being like, nah, screw these picks. Then it was kind of just an interesting thing because everybody was like, well, they're just going to crumble. Like, I give it 2 years or whatever. And then now this is the second time in just the last couple of years we're in the Super Bowl since not having a first round pick. Our most recent first round pick was Jared Goff. Since not having a first round pick, the Rams have made the playoffs 4 out of 5 times. That one season that they did not make the playoffs, they were still 9-7, barely missing the playoffs. And if the 7 seed had already been added, the Rams would have made the playoffs. It was just the year before. So, I mean, it seems to be working out, guys. That's all I'm saying. And a lot of our dead money comes off the books right at this season. So re-signing guys like Odell Beckham Jr. and Von Miller, it does feel realistic. You know what I mean? Like that something that happens or can happen. And all signs point to these guys also want to be around. So I think that something can get done there. But you know what, guys, because we are going to talk about some other stuff outside of like once we move past the seasons like that, there are some question marks still. It's almost sounding like the Rams might be the only team bringing back their starting quarterback next season. That's kind of wild. So we'll talk about that. First, though, guys, let's go ahead and get into the Super Bowl picks because this is some good stuff here. We got a comment here from Josh coming in again. He says, I'm a Rams fan, and I hate LA.
Appreciate it.
No, that should be your catchphrase.
Right. I like that.
I love LA, man. Every time I've been there, the people are so rude. But the place is amazing. It's beautiful. But every single human I've interacted with out there is a total
Mexican food over there. I'll give them that. They got the good tacos.
They do have good tacos. And those, if you get a chance, I was making fun of the 49ers fans leaving the game a little bit, but like one of them commented on the news and he was like, these hot dogs are amazing. And I was like, yo, he's right though. Those are so good. Nice. Those ones outside, man. With those people that they do not speak a single word of English, and they are the most delicious hot dogs I've ever had in my life. So, all right, guys. Because the LA Rams are in the Super Bowl, I will go last. I'm not going to force myself to go first like CG made me do last week on his channel. Is his channel? I have no say. So we'll go ahead and start with Steezy, man. I know this is like obviously everybody else except for me is probably like you guys are all probably a little upset at least that there's an NFC West team in the Super Bowl. It's not your team. So let's hear it, guys. Get it all out. Get out whatever you need to get out in this one. But Steezy, we're going to start with you.
Yeah, Joe, you think? Obviously, if there was to be an NFC representative in the Super Bowl, obviously I'd want it to be my Seattle Seahawks. But given how we ended the year, 7-10, there's just no way that was going to happen. Honestly, I'm honestly not surprised. You guys have the talent. You guys have all the pieces. You guys have all the weaponry. After adding Matthew Stafford, we thought that was it. But then you guys still got OBJ, and you guys still went out and got Von Miller. And so I think that in terms of talent, you guys are far and away the most talented team in the National Football League. And then right now, everything is just starting to click. I guess it's kind of expected. You know, I guess I've just been in denial this entire year. And I do have to say, I've been eating a lot of crow. You know, I don't know if you guys recall. I don't know if you guys even tuned in, but I think it was a month or two before the year. I didn't say the Rams are overrated, but I did drop an episode, you know, questioning whether or not Matthew Stafford is overrated, and maybe are the Rams overrated. I don't think I definitively said they were overrated, but I did, you know, turn it into a debate. I did, you know, make it a question. And I remember just getting into a whole bunch of battles with a countless number of Rams fans. I didn't know I had that many Rams fans tuning into my channel. And so I've had a lot of them clapping back in recent weeks, talking about, oh, how's that crow taste? You know what? It's not that bad. You know, I've had crow. I've had my fair share of crow before. And so I think for you guys to really seal the deal, you guys have to win it. I mean, for you guys to host the Super Bowl, that's only the second time in NFL history a team has done that. I think for you guys to not come out and win, that would be, I wouldn't say embarrassing, but that would definitely be a letdown. That'd definitely be a disappointment. And I'm definitely happy for Matthew Stafford. He deserves all the flowers he's getting. Sean McVay, Aaron Donald, he's so deserving of the Super Bowl. OBJ is always been one of my favorite players. And so, you know, congratulations to you guys. I hope you guys get the job done. I'm actually not super salty as I initially anticipated. And so, look, may the best team win. And, yeah, you guys are far and away that talented. So you guys deserve it.
What's your score, man?
Man, see, this is tough. I've been going back and forth. Obviously, I'm going to be rooting for the Bengals. But I think the Rams come out on top. You know, I think this is where the Cinderella run ends for the Bengals. I love what they've been doing all year long, but that offensive line is going to get terrorized. I mean, my gosh, if the Titans are going to put up 9 sacks, I know the 9 sacks didn't deter Joe Burrow and the Bengals from getting that W, but the Rams passers, the Rams defensive line they're better than the Titans defensive line. It's just that simple. Aaron Donald's he's hungry for a title. He's hungry for a ring. And I just believe he's going to go bananas. Von Miller, he wants another one. Leonard Floyd. I just don't see how that Bengals offensive line is going to be able to hold up. Yeah, they could, you know, orchestrate a game plan in which they could get rid of the football quickly, in which they could run the ball with Joe Mixon. But I think at the end of the day, that pass rush is going to be too much. I think Jalen Ramsey, we should expect to see him shadow or at least travel and cover Jamar Chase, who's been an absolute just revelation this year. I think you can take him out the game. That synergy and that chemistry between him and Joe Burrow, that's been winning a lot of football games. And so if I'm the Rams, if I'm Raheem Morris, I'm really contemplating having Jalen Ramsey travel. And I think if they do that, I think if the pass rush gets the job done, I don't see the Bengals coming out on top. But either way, I think it is a shootout. I think the Bengals do get Joe Mixon involved. I think T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd, they have pretty good games. But I think ultimately the Rams just have too much talent, like I've been alluding to, I guess, for the entire year. So I think the Rams come out on top, albeit in the shootout. I'm going to say Rams 34, Bengals 31.
All right. I like that score. We got a couple of Super Chats coming in here. I do want to get to those before we move on to our further picks here. Josh is referring to a CG stream that happened a couple days ago that I hung out on. Got weird, but hey, you know what? It happens sometimes. You know, you can't always control live. You know, it's sometimes it gets off the rails a little bit. But CG, we doing Smoke Monday on a Wednesday?
I don't know about a Smoke Monday. It was just a prospect I was discussing about, but I guess a smoke on a Wednesday would be nice.
Hey, whatever works, man. Whatever works. I'm in Colorado, so it's like a not taboo thing here. So I don't know. So Edwin coming in saying, would you guys be willing to trade your first round picks for a proven talent after what you've seen with the Rams? We'll start with Mike on this one.
No, just because I know the Cardinals. No, just because we're just bad luck. No, I'll go no.
Okay.
I'll say yeah, because if we would have did that, I'm pretty sure we have a far better chance to get back in. I mean, what if you just swap in Jimmy Garoppolo for Derek Carr? Can you imagine how that would turn out to be? I mean, if you can manage the game and win the game with that kind of quarterback, then the jury's on us that we should have did some crazy moves. But hey, I would say that's not a bad move if it came down to those kind of moves that the Rams did.
Tua. Oh, sorry. What was that? Steezy.
You know, I know we actually do have a track record of trading a whole bunch of firsts. And so a lot of people will be quick to say, oh, it hasn't really worked out in your favor. Well, I'm going to have to say yes still, just because we've been terrible at drafting in the first round. I think I have more faith in Seattle trading for established players rather than betting on, you know, the draft. Because look, at the end of the day, the draft is a crapshoot. And look, the Rams, they're definitely showing a formula that I think, the rest of the NFL could potentially copy. But, I mean, you're going to have to nail and at least target the right sort of guys. I think Seattle, maybe instead of trading for Jamal Adams, we could have traded for Ramsey, a couple years ago before the Rams did. And so, when guys like that become available, then, yeah, I'm all for it.
Yeah, and obviously I'm on that train because it's working, and the Rams were drafting terribly for many, many years, and this is way doper than that. 49ers Ultimate Report, thank you for coming in, man. Appreciate you hanging out with us. Joe, do you condemn your Rams fan putting a San Francisco Bay Area 49ers fan in a coma? I really have no comment on this because I didn't see the video or anything like that. Apparently, the mayor of LA said that the 49ers fan was the one that kind of started it, so I don't know, man. I'm not out there. As far as the violence, I think it's a joke when it happens in the stands. I hate people doing videos. I hate all of that. I think it makes everybody look bad. I think that both fan bases left that in that situation specifically looking not very classy. So I don't support any of that stuff. I don't laugh at it. I don't think it's cool. I don't think it's funny. Any of that stuff, man. So no, I don't. But also, I mean, you get that many people in such an intense environment and put alcohol into their faces, and bad things are going to happen, man. So I don't defend or condemn any of the actions. It ultimately has nothing to do with me, and I realize that that's like that might sound like a cheapskate answer or whatever, but man, I wasn't involved, so I don't know what was said. I don't know what happened. I don't know what led to it. So ultimately, no, man. Let's see here. Moving on here. We got JJ coming in. What's up, man? Let's go Rams. Wahoo! 6-1 record. Go Rams. That's a nice little jab there. And then we got another one here from Joel. What's going on, Joel? Welcome in. We actually hung out with Joel in LA for the Rams-Jags game. It was an awesome time, man. Had many, many beers. CG, after Jimmy G's breakout game, what happened? This is hilarious to me, by the way, CG, but before you answer, watching that back where you said that that Garoppolo might have a breakout game and throw for almost 200 yards, that still is hilarious to me. I busted out laughing when it happened, and I laughed again when I saw it there. So,
to correct you on it, I was right about his performance, but that one interception was costly. Other than that, I was correct on that prediction. But yep, he cost us the game. So here's your answer. Yeah, he did throw over 200 yards. There you go.
Yeah, he broke out, man.
Yeah, he did this. That's what he did.
I mean, well, why would you? I get trying to throw the ball away there. I get it, but come on, dude. Like, that was so bad. Just take the sack. I don't. Whatever. Anyway.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, we're gonna move on. Actually, you know what, CG, we'll stick with you on this one, man. Give me your prediction on this Super Bowl 56 that we have at SoFi Stadium on Sunday.
All right, Super Bowl prediction. I need to drink me a malt liquor so I can not watch this game. But you know what? I'll give you my honest prediction of this game. This can be a shootout. As far as a shootout, I think it can be exactly similar to that Monday Night Football game that we've seen with Kansas City and the Rams. I think it can come down to that game. So I think whoever gets the last possession, but my gut feeling says that the Rams are going to win. So man, I just hate to say it. I speak realistically. I want the Bengals to win, so it could be a great week. But you know what? Realistically, I'm going to speak how I see it. I don't know how the Bengals are going to be able to hold up to that Rams defense. So I definitely do have the Rams winning this game 45-42. And book it.
45-42. That is a big score prediction, CG. That's wild.
Wait, CG, is defense optional in this game?
I don't think so. It's kind of like similar to what we saw in that Monday night game. I think it's got the making of that game.
I mean, we'll see, man. These are two good offenses, and this is kind of a fun one that I've been asking people this all week or like the last week and a half of like, you look at the Los Angeles Rams and you just can name off superstars, just front to back. I mean, Cooper Kupp, Odell Beckham Jr., Robert Woods, Matthew Stafford. I mean, you can even throw in names like Cam Akers and stuff like that. But Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey. And then how many defensive starters can you name for the Bengals? Like, most people have like a couple.
There's Jesse Bates, Trey Hendrickson.
See, and I go Reader. Like, that's because that big old boy in the middle there on the defensive line. I mean, he's one heck of a football player. And also Eli Apple always sticks out in my head.
Awuzie.
But not for the right reasons. Not for the right reasons.
Yeah.
Awuzie.
Yeah, Jacoby. being a Colorado guy, I definitely follow him, man. So I definitely know about it. But yeah, it's kind of just interesting. Like it really is like the tale of two completely different teams. You have like the superstar-studded LA Rams, and then like basically this team that kind of feels like it is just kind of no names or whatever. Even though we could get into like all the numbers of like what each team has spent on free agents the last 2 years, it is dramatically more for the Cincinnati Bengals. So it's kind of wild. And also I saw this stat saying that the LA Rams have this season have had more homegrown players, more players drafted on their roster than any other team in the league. So this whole bought not built thing, I don't think is necessarily true. It's the big names that the Rams bring in, not necessarily like you bringing in wide receivers to be wide receiver 4 kind of thing. It's Odell Beckham Jr. You know what I mean? So all right, we're gonna move on here to Mike, man, the AZ sports fan. Give me your prediction here. Please pick the Bengals. You're terrible.
I've been wrong all this time. I got to pick something right. All right. So this, like, kind of like how Steezy is. I mean, I'm going to be watching this with my family. We usually kind of have like a, barbecue, and, it's going to be a good time. I'm excited about it. But I see this game not as much as a shootout. Maybe kind of like midline, points scored. I want the Bengals to win, obviously, for pretty much what Steezy was saying, but sorry, Joe, I got to go with the Rams. And the biggest reason why is because I know deep down, I'm the kryptonite, and I know you guys are going to lose because I'm picky. I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. No, I know, man. You guys are built up to win, man. This is the year for you guys. And you guys can definitely carry this on, and it sucks for me to say, but if I'm going to give a score prediction, I'm going to say 24-17. It's going to be a fairly close game. I do think Joe Burrow is going to be able to put some points up on this defense, but I think it's going to come down to that defense just has that it factor. And almost similar to what Jimmy G did, Kyler Murray did it a week before, or when we did it in our wild card, just chucked it up in the air, and it was just stupid mistakes. But that's what your defense brings, man. They bring that intensity. They bring that stupid mistakes for those quarterbacks to make, and I kind of feel like that's going to happen with Joe Burrow. He's got a very young quarterback, and I'm very excited to see what his career is going to look like. But you just have too much studs in your defense. I got to go with the Rams.
All right, so I mean, obviously I am too, so that's going to be a clean sweep here. Everybody's picking the LA Rams in this one over the Cincinnati Bengals, which is pretty cool. There's so many storylines in this game to dig into, and I mean, I have a top 10 list of my favorite storylines that will actually appear on this episode of Rams Showcase. So I'm not going to give it away to you guys right now, but I will say that I think my personal favorite one, and it's not even my number one on my list, but my personal favorite is Andrew Whitworth going against the Cincinnati Bengals. And if he could win this Super Bowl and then just retire on the stage, I think that that's like the coolest possible thing that he could do. Winning the Super Bowl in his home stadium against the team he played with for 11 years. I just think that that's unbelievable. If that is, of course, what happens, that would be the ultimate story. I think that that's like a cooler story for myself than the Matthew Stafford story, although the votes on my poll are dramatically in favor of the Matthew Stafford story, which is totally fine. So, obviously Joe Burrow has been able to do some pretty amazing things, and he's been behind this bad offensive line all season. One thing that we have seen this year, though, with Joe Burrow and that Bengals offense is they do tend to struggle against zone teams, and that is definitely what the Rams are, and that's something that the 49ers were able to exploit because in order to stop the 49ers, you need to run man, and we saw the Rams adjust to that, but now we kind of get to sit in our zone a little bit of what the Rams like to do, which is rush 4 and sit in zones. And that is exactly what the Cincinnati Bengals have had issues with this year. And I there's obviously some really good teams out there. There's really strong pass rushes in this league, but none of those teams have Aaron Donald. You know what I mean? Like this is a tough matchup for that Bengals offensive line. And I think that the Rams will be able to get to Burrow. I am a little concerned at his ability to just come in and just have all of the swag in the world and just be able to make some things happen. I can't remember exactly what game it was, but there was a game recently that his time to sack was like 9 seconds. So you can't give up. Like he's moving around, he's running around, he's keeping plays alive. And the most impressive part about it, Joe Burrow, is he's also keeping his eyes downfield that entire time, and he's looking for people. And we've seen that happen quite a bit. And with those 3 wide receivers that they have, Chase, who we obviously know is amazing. Higgins is incredible as well. And then Boyd also, who is definitely no slouch. I mean, that's tough. That is going to be tough to defend. I think that ultimately that where the Rams really thrive there, though, is in the trenches. And I think that, games are won in the trenches still, even if you want to look at it's an offensive, crazy passing leagues like that. Games are still won in the trenches. On the other side, man, Matthew Stafford has been so clutch in these playoffs. He's thrown one interception, and yeah, it was kind of a bad pass. It was thrown behind Cooper Kupp and then tipped up, though. It was tipped. It wasn't just like thrown directly into somebody's stomach like we've seen earlier in the season, but about like mid to late season that we were seeing out of Stafford. So he's been playing awesome, man. I think Cooper Kupp is primed to have just another day, man. It's some good stuff. But on a personal note, if I picked Cam Akers to be the leading rusher in the playoffs on FanDuel, and if he has 40 more rushing yards than Mixon, I win that bet. So that's pretty sick. But I think that that'll be a big part of it as well is the ground game. And it looks like the Rams will also get back Darrell Henderson. So I think that the Rams can do this one, man. I think that it'll start a little bit slow. You got I think it's the first branch off the McVay tree in Zach Taylor. I was going to say Zach Staley, combining people over here. But Zach Taylor, he was like, I think he was the first coach that was hired off of the McVay tree. If it wasn't, then it was LaFleur, but they were the same cycle. But I think it'll start slow. I think they're going to kind of feel each other out, see what each other's trying to do. But ultimately, I do think the Rams are just a better football team than these Cincinnati Bengals. I asked it, name all the defensive starters you can for the Bengals. And everybody I've asked, I've got the most is 3. That's the most that anybody's given me is 3 on that. So
let me beat that, Joe.
What's up?
Let me beat that.
Go. Wait, okay. Did you just Google it? I gave you that one.
Okay, that one doesn't count then.
Okay.
Trey Henderson, Jesse Bates, Von Bell, Logan Wilson,
And a Woozier.
Oh, I'm not going to take that.
You can't cheat. It was a group effort.
That's 4, though.
All right, you got it. You win. All right, the most I've heard is 4. All right.
Oh, Logan Wilson's pretty good. Yeah.
Ultimately, though, guys, I really do think that the Rams are just a better football team. I think that the Rams, being in their home stadium, I don't think that there's anything about this team. Just like I said last week, you cannot let a team beat you in your own home stadium. Last week, it was the 49ers to go to the Super Bowl. I just don't see the Rams going soft in this game at all. Aaron Donald wants this ring. The only thing missing on his Hall of Fame checklist is that little box next to Super Bowl champion. That's the only box he needs to check. He's 1 win away from it. Matthew Stafford has the chance to shut down all of that conversation about he can't get it done. He's been in Detroit, whatever. He's just not that guy. OBJ has a chance to come in and absolutely just find a hum in LA. Von Miller comes in and helps Aaron Donald become a better leader. So I think the Rams are a better team. And I don't know if it'll be as close as everybody else has this one. I do think that the Rams kind of do this one. But I also don't think it's a blowout. And I also wouldn't be surprised to see anything different happen. But my score prediction, I'm going to go with 27-13. I just think that the Rams are a better team. I think we'll be able to get after Joe Burrow. I think this Rams defense is the perfect matchup from the Rams' perspective against that Cincinnati Bengals offense. That's why I'm going with 13 there. Mark Jackson coming in here real fast before we move on with the super chat here. I'm going to miss these roundtables. Great job, guys. Great content. Hey, man, I appreciate that. Thank you so much for hanging out with us all year. We'll definitely be like peppering in some off-season shows. Draft time comes up, when free agency is about to start. We'll absolutely be doing that stuff. So just keep your eyes open. And guys, actually, I can't believe I have not mentioned this the whole time that we've been here, guys, but we actually have done something pretty sick. And I know, right? Shame on Joe, because I was getting too hyped about talking trash to CG, and I totally missed the fact that these are no longer going to be hosted on our individual channels on a rotation basis. What we went ahead and did was we started up a channel called the NFC West Network. So make sure you guys search that and subscribe there. We'll be putting all kinds of content. That's where the roundtables will be held, but we'll also be individually posting videos. My Rest of the West segment that I do throughout the season and sometimes in the offseason as well, that'll be posted exclusively on that channel. So if you guys like that video, then that's where it's going to be. And we'll all be posting stuff on that. Sometimes I'm going to come in with CG. We'll just do a quick conversation. It's going to be some good stuff, man. So make sure you guys sub there. That's where all of the magic is going to happen. I promise. It's going to be
Or I might come up with something called Smoke of the West.
Smoke of the West from CG. And I got Rest of the West.
Hey, Joshua gave me the idea.
Josh is a good guy, man. Josh is a good guy.
What do you guys think? Smoke of the West?
Hey, man.
You can name it
Man.
whatever your heart desires. That's good stuff. All right, guys. So our Super Bowl picks are in. Everybody's picking the LA Rams to defeat the Cincinnati Bengals on Sunday. Super Bowl 56 held at SoFi Stadium. Essentially a home game for the Rams. We are the away team, which I think is interesting. The only thing that happens as far as the awayness of it is we pick the coin toss. We're in our home locker room. We're on our home sideline. We're in our home stadium. We're at home, okay? But we get to pick the coin toss, which is kind of cool. But
wait, Joe,
what's
my
up?
bad. Why is it that you guys are the away team?
It's just it goes back and forth, and NFC is road this year.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah. It does. Yeah, it's just kind of luck of the draw. The Bucks were like really home teams last year, but yeah, we didn't get to pull that off. So, all right, guys. So before we hop on out here, there's also, as much as I'm excited for this Super Bowl because the LA Rams are in it, and it'd be really cool to win that and stuff like that, and we're gonna party it up. We're gonna have we have like a keg and like Jello shots and all this food, and we're going nuts. I already have Monday off, so we're ready. We are locked and loaded, man, to party it up, sheriff style. But there's also 3 other teams in this division that cannot be ignored for sure, because this is a very strong division still. And all of them currently have question marks, specifically at the quarterback position. So I did want to kind of talk about this. I wanted to start with the hottest topic as far as this goes, though, which is Kyler Murray unfollowing the Arizona Cardinals, scrubbing his Instagram, not only of Arizona Cardinal stuff, but most stuff on his Instagram. So I don't have all of the information on this. I don't think anybody does, but if anybody would have the most information on that, it's going to be Mike down here. What do you got, man?
Appreciate you. I saw CG got super excited, man. The camera fell out. Yeah, man, it's a big storyline right now, man. It is. A lot of Arizona Cardinal fans are, at the edge of their seat, obviously reading a lot into things that, might not be that big of a deal. But, these days, man, a lot of these athletes do some very subtle things. And for some reason, social media is one of the biggest things that they like to lean towards. And this was just really weird timing. Obviously, if you guys didn't hear, there was another storyline coming on right after we got our butts whipped by the Rams, saying that the owner, Michael Bidwell, was absolutely pissed off the way that it ended. And he should be really pissed off in the way that it ended, but that he was withholding playoff checks from the coaching staff. And it's just crazy. It's absolutely crazy right now. And things that are going on with the Arizona Cardinals. Like, if you take a look at, exactly what's happening, 5 wins, and I'm talking about Cliff Kingsbury, 5 wins to 8 to 11. Most casual fans would be happy with that. You know what I mean? They'll be like, oh, we're making progression. Me, on the other hand, I'm kind of on the other side. Obviously, I don't want Kyler to leave, but we have a lot of fans that are just completely and uttered disgusted and pissed off of what happened. And I do think being that it was the LA Rams, it has a lot to do with it, and that they're in our own division, and that we have San Francisco 49ers, which was lower in our seedings, but got further than we did. So it was I don't know. It was just a bad situation that happened. So obviously Kyler Murray's going into the Pro Bowl. He throws a pick 6. And obviously a lot of people that hate Kyler Murray, and there's a lot of fans that are already not liking Kyler Murray and they want the experience to be over, go to Twitter and start talking all sorts of stuff about Kyler. Now, I'm not quite sure exactly why he scrubbed any Arizona Cardinal content down. I could only guess. I don't think he's going to leave. I think it would be very foolish for the Arizona Cardinals to make a trade to obviously, get rid of him. But I think it's a contract, negotiations. I think his agent put him up to it. We've seen several players within the Cardinal organization take to this route. Chandler Jones, Patrick Peterson, just to kind of name a few that they did this. What was the other guy? Butler. Well, Butler did it, but he actually left. He actually was like, peace out. I'm gone. So, there is some real concern. Me personally, I don't think he's going to go anywhere, but I still have that little inkling about kind of like that PTSD where like, okay, we've seen this before. It can very well happen, man. This offseason is going to be nuts. I'm personally not looking too much into it. I think it's more of a tactic from him and his agent. He wants to get paid, get a contract extension, and I don't think the Cardinals want to do it. He still has yet to win a big game. Yes, we've had 11 wins, but 2 of those wins are from Colt McCoy. And when the lights shine the brightest, it's kind of hard to give him that $35+ million per year, because a lot of fans are pissed off still. I'm still scarred. I'm still pissed off at what happened at the end of the season. So me, I think it's smoke. I think he wants a contract extension, but we all know that can still be hairy. That can still get very, very hairy. Who knows if he's going to come to training camp, OTAs, all of that different stuff. But that's definitely going to be a storyline where I'm going to be following very, very closely because, hey, it's offseason, ladies and gentlemen. Offseason right after Super Bowl.
I've got a follow-up, and it's a kind of a specific leading question a little bit. First of all, did the playoff checks ever get sent?
It's so funny because all we heard was that story and it just kind of fell out. It kind of fell out of place. Like nobody really kind of followed up. I'm assuming they got paid, but I'm not 100% to be honest with you. I would love a follow-up story, but I don't know.
The reason that I ask that is because coaching trees are deep, and they spread pretty much through every team. And like you have different trees that kind of branch through most NFL teams. And if those didn't get paid, you got to think that there's members of that Cardinals coaching staff that are saying we didn't get our playoff checks because he was mad that we lost in the first round. Wow. And at that point, you got to think that most other coaches are going to be like, oh, so don't coach for Arizona because you might catch the owner on a bad day and you're not going to get paid. What you deserve. You made the playoffs. That did happen. They were in the playoffs. So, if that did not happen, I think that's bad news for the entire organization moving forward. Yeah. Do you agree?
Oh, 100% agree. Yeah, culture within this Arizona Cardinals, it's very concerning. But I mean, it went beyond this year, man. It's Steve Keim. I feel like he's a cancer. I really do. A lot of people love what he's done because he gets these big trades and, they work. But I mean, obviously, if I was a GM, I would do those trades too. You know what I mean? You create, partnerships. You create, connections with other GMs. But like the players that he goes for is players that we've been talking about on this channel. It's not like he's some genius, coming up out of the whim. He waits for the perfect opportunity and strikes. That's exactly what a GM does. But his drafting is absolutely garbage. His free agency is trash as well. Like he doesn't pick up very good people. We were all really excited coming into this year with JJ Watt, AJ Green, and all the other star-studded. But it's just kind of the tale of the Arizona Cardinals. We love to get the people when they're either past their prime or they're just right there at the edge and they just want to collect the check. Kind of like Terrell Suggs. He comes in. We're excited he's going to be, next to Chandler Jones. And that guy just came here to retire. He just wanted to collect a check from the Arizona Cardinals. And culture, man. The culture is a big thing here at the Arizona Cardinals. And so far, it's not looking so good right now, man.
So just my last little follow-up here, a quick one, would just be, is Kyler Murray the starting quarterback of the Arizona Cardinals week 1?
Right now, I say yes.
Okay.
Yeah, right now I say yes, yeah.
All right, similar question for you, Steezy, because there are still some question marks with the Seattle Seahawks. You might have more information on this than I do as far as just the inner workings of what's going on there in Seattle. Obviously, we've reached the point now where clearly we know that, they're not going to turn to us right now and be like, oh, yeah, by the way, Pete Carroll's fired. It's kind of too late for that. The dust is kind of settling. It really is settled now with all the coaching changes like that. But there's still those question marks, and we don't really know the answers yet as far as free agents, potential departures, anything like that. So what feeling are you getting on Russell Wilson, and do you think he's gonna hang around Seattle into next season?
So I think there's a high likelihood that he stays at least for this season. I think the likelihood of him leaving next year, goes through the roof if Seattle isn't aggressive. And so basically to answer your question, I think it's kind of he's going to wait and see how Seattle approaches this offseason. Seattle is top 7, I think, in cap space. And so like you said, it's kind of set in stone that Pete Carroll is going to come back. But when you look at that report that came out a couple weeks ago, right, I think it was Ian Rappaport. He talked about how Russell Wilson wants to explore his options. Well, I'm pretty sure he's done his due diligence in the last couple of weeks. And I feel like the grass really isn't greener anywhere else. I mean, we talk about the AFC and how they are so stacked. And so is there going to be a little bit of reluctancy to, be traded to a team in the AFC just because Seattle is going to move him? Ideally it'd be to a team in the AFC, but then there's a likelihood of Aaron Rodgers potentially joining the AFC. What if Deshaun Watson gets reinstated? He's still in the AFC. We talk about Lamar, Herbert, Burrow, Mahomes, Josh Allen. And so Tom Brady's gone, at least for now. You know, I know I dropped an episode talking about why I believe he'll eventually be back. But when you look at the state of the NFC right now, aside from the Rams and the 49ers and maybe the Cardinals, there really aren't any significant threats in the NFC. NFC South, no threats there whatsoever. There's no quarterbacks over there. NFC least, we all know the Dallas Cowboys are frauds, the Giants, the Eagles, the football team. They're all still way too far back in their rebuild.
Hey, they have a team name.
Commanders.
Commanders. And then when you go over to the what division am I missing? The NFC North. If Aaron Rodgers is gone, then what does the NFC North really have to offer? And so, and you also want to talk about some of the teams that Russell Wilson mentioned, right? Dallas, obviously, they're not going to trade for that. Dak Prescott, the Saints, they don't have Sean Payton, and they're negative $76 million in cap space. Their left tackle is potentially going to leave. Alvin Kamara just got arrested. There's rumors of Michael Thomas potentially being on the out. And so the Raiders, looks like they're content with Derek Carr, but they're also in the AFC. I just don't know if it's very realistic for Russell Wilson to really, land on a team and for that team to be viable Super Bowl contenders. I just don't think that's going to be the case. And so I think at this point in the offseason, I think Russell Wilson's, he's kind of pressuring the front office. He's like, we have all this cap space, about 30 to 35 million. I know Seattle has a plethora of free agents that they had to bring back. And so that cap space is going to dwindle. But there are cuts to be made. I think there's a couple of guys that are definitely on the roster bubble. They could definitely save some more cap space. Bobby Wagner could come back and lower his cap hit. Maybe Russell Wilson takes a pay cut. And so I think right now he's going to stay put. And if he's going to leave, I think it happens next offseason, not this season.
It kind of makes sense too. Like the team that I kept mentioning is the Denver Broncos. Like that's the team that I kept on saying. But also you got to think, in that specific situation, he's going to have some say where he goes. Like it's not just going to be the team making phone calls and then just whatever the best offer is, they just ship him out. Like I think that they would have enough respect for him. I would hope so, at least that they would have enough respect to him with him to ask him where he would want to play and stuff like that. So the team that I've been mentioning is the Denver Broncos. Do I really think that he wants to go against Mahomes, Herbert, and Carr twice? Like that's 6 games, like right there, of just tough matchups. We'll see what happens with the Raiders. Out here in Colorado, the vibe on the Raiders hiring Josh McDaniels is like just comedy to them. Like they think it's hilarious out here just because of what he did in Denver. It was just really bad. So they think it's great. But Carr is still an awesome player. They've got a very strong team out there. So sidebar, it's so weird to me that Bisaccia became a special teams coach of the Packers. I thought he was a shoo-in for head coach. Players absolutely love that dude. He came as an interim and went to the playoffs. This is NFC West, though, so we won't necessarily dive too deep into that. But that's kind of what I've been saying is Denver Broncos for Russ. But I'm definitely getting the vibe now that I think that he'll probably stick around, at least for this last one.
And Joe, I mean, you might or might not know this, but he also has a no trade clause. And so you can't just trade him to like the Browns and just be like, go to the Browns. Maybe he doesn't want to be in Cleveland. You can't just say, go to the Giants. He does or Sierra maybe does want to, she wants to be in a big city, but the Giants are probably the worst team of football outside of the Jaguars. And so if they were to give up assets, they don't even have cap space either. And so if they were to give up assets, then it's like, what's Russell Wilson really have to work with? But yeah, as of right now, I mean, I think that's where things are kind of headed. The grass isn't always greener. So
that is true. And we have another team here that we feel very confident is going to be making a quarterback change, as their starting quarterback said goodbye to the fan base in his final press conference. Thanked the fans and basically was like, hey, guys, it's been real. It's basically the vibe of Jimmy Garoppolo's press conference. So a two-parter here for you, CG. Like, where do you think he kind of ends up? What do you think he is going to ask for as far as his destination, anything like that? Well, 3-parter. Do you think that your offensive coordinator going to Miami changes anything as far as Garoppolo's destination? And also, realistically, I want to hear this like multiple firsts, anything like that. I want a realistic answer of what do you think that the 49ers can actually get in a trade for Jimmy Garoppolo?
Okay, so speaking realistically, I think his best chance to be a starter elsewhere is no other than the Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, realistically, it can be between the 3rd round pick or maybe second round pick at the moment. But no, I think it's going to be a third round pick, and then maybe you add in like a fifth round pick in that investment. And he's on a 1 year deal, so realistically, I'd be okay with it. Plus, you clear up cap space. I think that would be his best fit. Like, I think Pittsburgh is like, they got a really good team. It's just the Big Ben's going to leave. It's going to retire, but they won't have a step back. When they have Jimmy G, they'll be able to have a really good offense. The running game's going to feature more of what they do, and it's going to be exactly the way it was run when Big Ben was there. So, if anything else, I think he would be a better fit with the Steelers. So, realistically, a third round pick would probably be the best we can get right now.
I don't think you're out of pocket saying second. I think that is possible because he is a starting quarterback. I just don't see a one being part of that conversation, especially when everybody in the universe knows it's Trey Lance time week 1. You know what I mean? Like that's obviously happening. So if nobody offers anything, they'll just kind of like wait for him to be released. You know what I mean? And then it's just kind of a free for all. I'm very intrigued by your answer of Pittsburgh Steelers. That almost makes too much sense, though, man. Like, have you heard anything, or are you just like, did you just connect that?
I just had a good feeling that it could be the best fit because Jimmy G put it like this: he wants to be on a better team, and what other better team than the Pittsburgh Steelers? I mean, you got to go
better than the 49ers. So he's got. I'm just kidding. I know. I'm just like a lot of people watching this. They're like, Joe Mason.
But it makes the most sense because the offense is going to be similar. The talent is pretty good. The defense is not like that bad. They're pretty good. Mike Tomlin has never had a losing season, so it would make the most sense to get a quarterback. And even if Pittsburgh does get Jimmy G, they can still go get a quarterback in the draft and wait 1 more year. It's on a 1 year rental, so that would make the most sense. But there's been links that it could go to the Steelers, so that's a possibility.
I like that answer actually. That kind of makes a lot of sense to be totally real. Like that you said Steelers, and like my very first thought is like, oh, of course the Steelers. Like that totally makes sense. So, all right, guys. Before we wrap up here, has anybody got any last second questions? Anything like that?
I just want to say, I know I'm not a Niner guy, but the Steelers would definitely be my first option for Jimmy G. Just because, look. CG, like you said, Mike Tomlin's never had a losing season in his career, and Jimmy G, for as many warts as he has, all he does is win. I mean, your guys' record with him as a starting quarterback is 35-16, and so I think him and Mike Tomlin, that'd be a great marriage. I think if that doesn't happen, Mike McDaniel going over to Miami, I think he could maybe potentially stage a quarterback competition between Tua and Jimmy G. If he knows Tua isn't his guy, at least he can have a bridge quarterback in Jimmy G. So I think right now, his top 2 most logical landing spots got to be the Dolphins, and it got to be the Steelers.
Dude, a quarterback competition between Jimmy G and Tua is like, if I was a Dolphins fan, I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I'd be so upset about that. Mike, did you have anything?
No, honestly, I didn't. For some reason, Steelers never crossed my mind. CG, you opened up a whole new world. I think that would be a great fit.
Some good stuff, guys.
Yeah, it makes the most sense because it's a running game too. They run the ball, and the receivers are pretty much similar skill set, if not better. I mean, Mike Tomlin just has a really good proven record. If not the Steelers, then maybe Denver.
That's that one. Honestly, like Denver, I kind of feels like with Hackett going there, there's some wheels in motion, you know. But we'll kind of see what happens, I guess, with that one. But guys, fun fact, on DraftKings, there is a prop bet for the Super Bowl about an octopus being thrown onto the field. There is not a prop bet for a streaker. So that tells you a little bit about, I guess, rich people, because that's the only kind of person going to the Super Bowl. Your average fan is not going to be there. I'd have to blow off rent for multiple months to be able to make it. So can't do it. But so if you guys are feeling like an octopus might get thrown out there, you guys know where to go now. I had that information in my head. I had to get it out to somebody. Somebody else needs to have this. I can't just sit with this by myself. You know what I mean? So weird stuff. Man, guys, thank you so much. This has been an absolutely incredible season. It's been so much fun to have these conversations about the NFC West with you guys all year. That sounds like I'm saying goodbye. I'm not. Like, we're just going into – we're shifting now. We're going to start shifting into off-season topics and stuff like that. So next time you guys see us, we'll be talking about upcoming free agents that we want our teams to bring in, guys that we want our teams to keep, guys that we want our teams to let walk, stuff like that, extensions, all that kind of stuff. We'll get some more information on that as we get kind of closer to that time. In the schedule coming out, we'll talk about that kind of stuff. Hopefully we get some sweet primetime games between our squads. Again, we had Rams had a primetime game against every NFC West team, so that was really cool. So we'll be getting into absolutely all that stuff. But real fast, like, we can just go through, plug your stuff real quick. CG?
Yeah. Well, we're definitely looking forward to the future. We're definitely going to debate on the offseason. But as far as going forward, this network is going to be kick-ass. That's all I can say.
We're kicking all the butt cheeks with the new network here.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm very excited about it, taking this over to a specific channel just so everybody doesn't have to ask the question, hey, Mike, what channel is it going to be on? I definitely see the concern, especially if you're only a Cardinals fan. It's kind of sometimes hard to ask to sub to anybody else, but this makes it a lot easier. One click away, the notifications are going to be for everybody. So it's going to be fun. I'm very excited to see what the next season 2 for the NFC West network is going to be. I'm really excited, man. It's going to be cool.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Steezy?
Yeah, look, like Mike said, I just went on ahead. I have a couple of, student Google accounts. So if you guys have multiple accounts, definitely be sure to, run up that sub number. I think the last time I checked, we were at 40. And so, thank you guys so much for getting that going. Once again, the NFC West network is down below right there. And if you guys aren't already, after you subscribe to the NFC West network, be sure to subscribe to the Rams Showcase, CG Ruthless Sports, the AZ Sports Fan, and last but not least, Steezy A. Smith. We're all on a journey to keep doing this thing. And so we forever thank you guys for your support. Thank you so much. It's been a great season. And man, until the next one, go Hawks, baby.
Hey, if you guys don't subscribe to the network, I'm going to hammer you guys.
Okay.
Bam!
Custom jerseys for the win, dude. Custom jerseys for the win. I absolutely love it, CG.
That's why you guys are on the top.
Guys, this has been such an awesome time. We got the LA Rams taking on the Cincinnati Bengals in Super Bowl 56. As much as I obviously want the LA Rams to win this game, I'm a massive LA Rams fan. There's a little tiny piece of me that also just loves this game of football, and if the Bengals were to win, I would at least be happy for their fans, as sad as I would be myself. I was hoping for a really good football game. This is the last one we got. The last 6 games have been absolutely unbelievable. So what does this mean?
Get some type of reaction for the NFC West network from you, Joe Bags?
Yeah, your reaction.
Yeah, your reaction. I feel like that would be gold, bro.
I posted my reaction to the Rams Showcase channel of me watching the NFC Championship game. Like, you can tell when the ball got tipped and then intercepted because you see us like, Dude,
I was on a reaction video. I was on one of those reaction of those sad days for the man.
You seemed so hurt, CG. I was so
Yeah, you guys could take that video, the breakdown of the depressed Niner fan. You can put it on the network.
Dude, that was – oh, man. I saw you pop up into that, and I was like, oh, no.
I feel like a Cleveland Browns fan.
Yeah, factory of sadness. I get it. All right, guys. Everybody who's hanging out with us and watched with us today, appreciate the heck out of you guys. Enjoy watching this Super Bowl. Hope you guys party it up, live it up, have an amazing time. This is the last football game we get for quite a while, unless you count USFL. And we'll see. But all right, guys, thank you so much. You guys have an amazing night. Peace, guys. Go Rams.
Go Niners.